questions. That sounds
Thanks,
good,
Allison.
Todd.
Appreciate the run through. Yeah, as we can see, there's a lot of tools here that provide a little bit different pros and cons for personal preference or the type of metadata that you're creating. One question that we did have was, and maybe you can address this, is obviously these are external to ARC, other than the sort of integrated toolboxes. Is from your experience in this project, has there been a preference for going outside of ARC to create the metadata, or are these just other options for those folks that don't have access to the license or whatnot?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. One is I personally find the ARC interface very cumbersome. There's a lot of things that you have to open if you want to put all the information for FGDC is there, but it's like, where'd that go? Like, you can't really look at it together to see like what you're missing. So you're more, I guess for me, the primary philosophy is get the tools out of the way so I can get the information down. And so I find that the EPA metadata editor is so much cleaner that I can't get distracted by, trying to open up a bunch of boxes, because it's like, well, it's right there, and I have an empty box that I have to fill in. So it's less procrastinating. With the ISO versions, I don't think our catalog, they will probably say that you can put in custom formats for if you want, but basically out of the box you can't do the ISO 19115-2 version of metadata at all. And with the 19115 isn't, I don't know how well it works. So I tried a conversion and it didn't, I couldn't successfully, I could have it validate in the portal, but then what it displayed, it didn't display all the information that I was looking for. So it would take some more playing with. Whereas the EME tool put out a record that came in cleanly to the portal. So I think yeah.
Yeah, I will say that so in that rationale, it's not that metadata being generated from the other tools or from ARC is not consumable by the Ocean Data Portal. It is, as long as it is in that FGDC, ISO 19115-1 or -2, format standard. So the tool of choice is up to you. These are just additional options. Yes, I wanted to, that we have a couple minutes for questions. Wanted to provide the opportunity for folks to ask any questions in terms of the material presented, or even suggest the tool of choice or best practices that other folks online have developed as well. As we are continuing to grow this sort of knowledge base, obviously there's a lot of expertise within our network, and so where it's relevant to share and include that in, we would very much appreciate that. So I will take the screen back over if you don't have anything else to share.
Sure.
And
yeah.
And we'll be also keeping an eye on the question or the hand raised to see. And while folks are potentially thinking of those, I will just point out that the Ocean Data Portal has been a sort of collaborative project. All the agencies and partners, from state and federal agencies to regional associations of IUs, have all kind of contributed knowledge and information and data into the portal. We've had financial contributions from NOAA and the Regional Ocean Partnership grants, as well as from the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. And so those are some of the things that continue to keep us active. But you know, as questions come up and you know, people are exposed to the portal, the benefits of participating in the network, and the sort of benefits of contributing data and services, we highly encourage folks to sort of reach out to myself so that we can help you walk through what that sort of registration process is. It's very simple. One thing that we didn't really go into a lot of depth here on, but is a previous webinar, is sort of once you have those metadata records, the mechanisms for actually sharing those and connecting them to the portal range from, you know, manually uploading like a single record or a bunch of records to some of the more preferred ways where you're either setting up a web accessible folder that have these XML documents in them, or even a catalog service for the web that our GeoPortal instance can communicate with and update, you know, in a regular basis so that we can stay as current and updated as possible with those records, because metadata does change. So those steps are ones that we can also help walk through, as well as, you know, provide additional tips and best practices around. And so we're always very interested in hearing whether folks have interest in contributing data, working with you to make it as painless as possible, and then where folks have utilized the system for small or large tasks of finding data or using our tools, we also want to kind of hear and grow these user stories so that we can demonstrate some of the other value that we provide for the region. So I don't think I'm seeing any questions.
Todd, I see a couple little question marks on next to people's names. Arlene Merrims and Mary Elaine Hewick. If you look at the attendees list, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see the question typed in or anything. But.
Sure. So looks like, you know, Mary, you may have found the resources here, but the database is currently in the system. There's a couple places where that can be found. Essentially, we try to make it very obvious where we're pulling data from, and one of the ways that we do that is when you explore the data set. When you explore the portal, one of the filters you can select on is the sources, and so those will display all the different catalogs that we're pulling from. If you're interested in actually finding the URL for any of those particular web accessible folders, catalog service endpoints, we have a contributors page that does need a small update, but is sort of the best place where we've sort of compiled all that information. Additionally, we'll be making those individual URLs so that others can connect to them and whatnot available through our knowledge base that Allison shared. So let's double check if there's any last questions. And I'm not seeing any, so
can you unmute people just in case someone?
Well, we've answered the questions that were asked.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to.
No worries.
Excellent.
I
so,
just
yeah,
don't understand these. I'm a novice to these controls, so I don't know how it works.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, I think we've addressed the questions that came up. Obviously, if questions do pop up as you explore the site or explore your own interest in contributing data to the site, please get a hold of me at my email address here, and again, be happy to work with you and share sort of some of the best practices that we've developed. And again, as we continue to grow our knowledge base, those tips and tricks that you guys have all developed in your own institutions will be very valuable. So with that, I'll probably conclude the webinar. Thank everyone here for participating and for being, setting aside some time to talk about metadata. I appreciate it a lot, and thanks, Allison, very much for sharing all the results of the work that you've been doing with our network.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming.
We'll hope to have another technical webinar sometime in the next quarter, and are taking suggestions for topics to cover. So if you have particular interest in a topic around data sharing, please let me know, and we can try to drop some content around that. So thanks again, everyone, and have a great one. Wonderful rest of your day.